Welcome to Unity Center of Pflugerville, right? Close enough? Okay, well, thank you for all being here. We just had a wonderful sing-in. What was the name of that song? My Life is a Prayer. Totally awesome. This topic is about defining your passions. Okay, and I jotted down a few notes about this, and I was a little nervous all the way to the end. And Robert, I was talking to Robert. He said, "What is your topic?" And I don't know. I don't know. When we've done this before, the topic would come to me, and then I would have a week or two to do the homework, and this one came all the way up to the last moment. It was like going and as Robert asked the question, it just came out, defining your passions. And I went, where did that come from? Because yikes. Okay, so no time to prepare or any books or anything else that I might have that could help. So it had to be me just sitting down, writing some of the things down. But if we're talking about passion and your passions, I'm a guy that can talk about passions. No doubt about it. I have a passion for nature. I have a passion for sunrise and sunsets. And I have a passion about all kinds of things. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about was, in the beginning, we think about a passion and you're driven toward it and everything else. And passion doesn't have to be that kind of drive yet. Passion starts out with interest. That's kind of interesting. And then, you get a little closer to it, right? Get a little closer. I'm going to have to do some research on that, right? Now, I'm not a research kind of guy. I just start stepping toward it till I get knee deep in it. And sometimes that's not so good. But a lot of times it is. And I don't know if the Bible ever covers anything like that. Passions. I mean, when I read through it, I didn't read that much on passions. You read about God and the Spirit and Jesus. And so passions were kind of like, where do you go with that? You're going to have a talk at church, and, where's your backup? Where's your information on all this? So it has to come from the heart. And if I'm talking from the heart, I'm in a good place. So, if we think of people that are rich, sometimes some of us will go, well, it's all about monetary things. They got lots of money and they're, all those little goodies. And, rich to me, I'm a rich person. I have so many passions. It's amazing. And honestly, passions or money are kind of alike. If you have lots of money and you don't do anything with it, what good is it? If you have lots of passions and you don't do anything good with it, what good is that? So passions are something that we should probably embrace and move toward a little bit. And somewhere along the line, with me, passions have been a way for the spirit side of me to talk to the physical side of me. It takes a step in areas that I might not want to take a step in with the logical mind. And so, for a guy like me, I'm kind of here and there, and I'm a focused man at work. I build things. I have to be structured, everything, the little goodies. Get away from that, forget it. I go and do however the Spirit moves me. So in the passions, I have passions of, oh, there's one. I love to fish. I have a wonderful fishing partner that loves to fish. And he puts us on the fish. That's nice. So we have photography, and I take pictures of things that move me, right? And that's just a beautiful thing. You're going to see a lot of sunrise and sunsets in here because somewhere along the line in my professional career, I get up before the sun comes up. I'm either on my way to work when these hit, or I'm coming home and these are hitting when I'm coming home. So I see a lot of these, and I never get tired of that. Not ever. It is inspiring. And if I've had a lousy day, one of those sunsets can take me right out of that lazy day or that lousy day. And it's awesome. And in the morning, if I'm kind of sluggish a little bit, this is a sunrise. This is just, I'm in my trailer looking out there and God's talking to me. Just like that. And all of a sudden it's like going, yeah. I mean, that's my dad and my brother eating ice cream. And my dad has a passion about ice cream. And my brother's sitting there going, do we have to do this? Right? Okay, anyway, so back to these. So these have a way of just being able to take you out and say, there's a little bit more to the life than just where you're focused. It's art in so many different ways. Look at the sunset in the windows, right? So there's an avenue right there, even amongst me doing my daily job or career. You know, there's those little bitty things talking to me, and they're all over the place. If it's not in the sunrise or sunsets, maybe it's in the squirrel that's running around, you know, and I got another one chasing it. And it gives me a moment of pause and a smile. I think, yeah, that's pretty cool, right? And so it's not only the sunrise and sunsets, but in my mind, I see the art to this. This is beautiful, even in amongst all of this mess, texture. Even amongst all this texture, this man-made texture, there's beauty to that. It adds to the scene. Now, it's not always perfect, but it never has to be. Depends on where you're focusing. Now, to me, we're getting ready to pour a driveway to the building that I'm building, and all the inspections I got to go through, but look at this, right? Now, this is just a little bit more drawn in on the picture that was just right there. So it depends on where you focus. So, and clouds. Oh, clouds. There's so many different types of clouds, and they tell you so many different things about something else. Not normally something that we focus on, but it's beautiful. So back to defining your passion. So to me, if an interest spurs, then that's something that kind of says, hey, let's take a closer look. If you take a closer look, be open-minded, and we move a little bit toward that. Even if the interest was from years ago, if there's something still there that says, have a look, go have a look. To me, passions are God talking to us and getting us out of our humdrum day, or maybe even in a day that is, you know, our everyday existence, just a note out there that says, you're not focusing on everything. You've got something else to look at. So we have things we can experience. And you don't have to have just one passion. Like myself, I have many, many passions. So photography being one. Now this is not a shameless plug for the book, though all the proceeds go to the church. But through the poetry that is written through me, that is another outlet for passion. So it's kind of funny. It's a pull. Sometimes I can't sleep at night. If I got that going on, then I go to the chair, the writing chair, and let it go. And it is amazing what comes out of you. I didn't know it was a passion. I never knew I had it. I just allowed something to happen. And it happened in a wonderful way. All these were in a drawer, and my mother picked them up. She says, there's no way this is staying in the drawer. So she helped make all this. The picture that's on here was a picture that I took from my job site on a sunrise. I don't know why I felt compelled to bring this in, but through our beautiful process of gaining wisdom, another way of saying aging, you know, the brain fitness program, okay, that's preparation. I don't know what that came from. I mean, you know, 2 things I bought at Goodwill. And this is the 12-minute workout, right? I don't do any of these yet. But they're preparation. A lot of things for me have been an interest, and then I take the next step. If it's there, oh, well, that might be cool. I get it, and it sits on the counter for a year or 2, sometimes 3. But it's okay, because most of those, 90% of that stuff that I put on the counter for a year or 2 or 3, I wind up getting into. It's amazing what happens. It all started through, I might get that. Just that little spur. These are coming up, not too far away. Photography, most of the time everything was shot with this camera. Most of these that you see were shot with just a camera phone or a phone camera, something like that. And then I thought, well, you know what? Because of my interest, I might get into, you know, something. I might get the goods, really get the goods. Now I bought it, and I got the book in it. It's that thick. And, you know, this isn't the old get in there, turn it on, zoom, click. No. These are very intelligent. And they let me know how small my world has gotten in photography. So this one stays on the kitchen table. Every day I see it on the kitchen table. And sometime real soon, I'm going to go YouTube it, and I'm going to get a crash course in it. Now, I'm glad I brought up YouTube. YouTube is a wonderful tool for learning about something that's an interest that could turn into a passion. If we don't feel passion, then we've lost a part of that communication with our spirit. Passion is one of our spirit topics to me. And it has worked very well for me. So sometime soon this comes up. And I'm okay with buying something and putting it off to the side for the moment. Because when the time's right, it'll flood me, and all of a sudden I'll get right into it, and that's all I need. I take that step, right? And if it keeps looking at me going, you owe me time, then I'll have to wind up getting there and going in and getting after it. Now, other passions. Red Lobster. I had a passion that said, at the end of a work week, I took one day and treated myself. This was my present to myself for putting most of my life, the outside of work, on hold because of my career. So for that single day, after whatever day of work it was, I went to Red Lobster and celebrated. You owe it to yourself. That is a type of passion. And it's good, too. I have a little deal here This is from the company that I used to work for. This is for 15 years of service with that company and putting the rest of my life on hold. Now, there was a whole lot more to it than just this, but this was easy to carry. Okay? So, I am one of the lucky few that found a career that I loved. And that is a wonderful thing, especially if you spend as much time in it as I do. RJ's another one. He has a career. He has built his own career around his passion. That's almost as good as you can get, you know. So I find us to be one of the lucky few. And
I want to just say one thing. Lately, I've been telling people, all I have is passion. This is all I have to give, is the passion of what's in my heart, to give it to life, and especially to put it into this music and put this consciousness in people's hearts that will make this a better place.
What you're going to find is the passion that really grips you is something that defines who you are. And that's a part of the soul talking. There's a communication in there that happens, and the soul starts working through you. And one of the most beautiful things that ever happen is when you get in league with the soul and start that work in spirit. That's gigantic. Passions help you get there. So I think that's all that I brought, though this isn't even a portion of all the stuff that I've got that I'm ready to jump into. And a lot of it's going to happen next year when I retire. So they say, oh, well, you know, what are you going to do when you retire? Sit down, you know, and watch TV. And say, heavens no, I'm not going to do that. You know, I've got fishing to do with one of my best friends, right? Fishing and my pooch. And so we've got fishing, we've got music. Most of you know I write music and songs, and play guitar, and fish, and other things. Now, one of the newest things that what I was going to get back to YouTube was about, now one of my projects, we had to cut down a beautiful 60 or 70-year-old pecan tree. She was gorgeous. Just up there high, 30, 40 feet in the air, you know, and I lobbied so hard to save that tree. And when they finally got tired of me lobbying to save the tree, they said, we appreciate your passions, but it's gonna go. So the tree went down, I cried, and then I took a section of that tree out, and I'm gonna make a guitar out of it, an electric guitar. So the music will prolong. Her music is not gone, right? So once again, the baby steps. So that chunk of wood is on my front porch, right out there drying out. It's all getting ready to go. It's been there for 4 years. So somewhere along the line, I'm on YouTube and I'm seeing how to make a guitar from scratch, electric guitar. And I'm going, yeah. Now I have 4 electric guitars, all bought from the stores. And then, so I'm sitting there going, yeah, this will help me get into what I wanted to do back then. So I bought a guitar on YouTube, or bought a guitar on eBay, not eBay, Amazon. And they have it where you've got everything, but you've got to put it all together, wire it, stain it, do all the goodies to it, right? But it has the pieces there. You got to take the time. So I'm sitting there going, yeah, that's a great start. And then I'm fumbling through and I find another one that's even more stripped down with a whole lot less on it. I'm sitting there going, now we're going. So we're kind of stepping into this. I never knew it was going to turn to this, but I'm going to make that guitar. And being a carpenter for 20 years, I can make a guitar. But it's going to be neat to hear that thing play. And I thought, you know, and that there's enough wood in there to make 3. Father, making 3 now. So somewhere along the line, those little steps, those baby steps, that interest, something about that tree would not let me go. And I'm going to see that tree through. So I'm okay with my passions, writing a little bit about who I am. That'll do. And like I said, I'm rich with it because I have passions all over the place, all over, and I love them. I wrote something down here about starting with minor passions. So let's say you've defined a passion. You've got an interest. It's taken you the next step. You go into how deep you really want to start going. And then you kind of start working your way through that passion, and it creates steps for you in here. Just creates those steps. The funny thing, you never forget those steps because they're a part of passion. It's a light stage of passion. Then you're sitting there going, yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's get into the next stage. So all of a sudden now you started out the shallow end of the pool, then you go to the mid portion of the pool, and you're wading around going, yeah, that's kind of cool. Then you start working those stages, right? And they take you a little bit deeper in stages. You get a little bit more defined, refined, and defined. And then somewhere along the line, a year or 2 or so later, the big one comes up. And then you're in the deep end of the pool. But you can swim already. And you can float. And you can do whatever. So it's really kind of neat going into the deep end of that pool when you've had the success experiences. Now, a passion doesn't have to come to full fruition. It takes you through stages where you need to be for the next one. So the deeper the passion, the steps are already there for you. It's like rocks crossing the stream. It just helps you step right across the stream. So, and I think the deepest one ever is, like I said, it's a connection with the soul, because that's where it says, here is a portion of who you are, truly are, not who you think you are, right up here, or who you've taught yourself you are. This is a portion of the connection between the soul and your physical self. And so that type of communication is, to me, priceless. If you are having trouble trying to define an interest or something, go into meditation. Go into meditation, first of all, with the intention of, I'd like to discover one of my passions. And it'll come forth for you. And the neat thing about it is, it's not going to be that whopper for you. It's going to be the first step one. Because the intelligence to our spirit knows how to handle you. By this time, where we are, it's a great start. And then maybe something within that first passion stirs up something over here and moves you all automatically into it. Somewhere along the line, if you wonder about the true one you really want to do, if you haven't clued into it yet, or if you haven't stumbled upon it yet, because you're going to stumble into it. If you haven't stumbled into it yet, go into that meditation again and says, okay, I'm ready. And that's all you'll have to say. And then go in that meditation. And it might be that one, it might be the next one, it might be the one after that. It'll come to you. Guaranteed. And then you're on your way. So, but if you never take the step, you never get to it. I'm open for anybody's question. Does anybody have a question about any of this? Yes, sir.
Your passion that you do is not just for you. It's to share.
You
Just
would,
like your guitar you're going to build. It's not to build for you. It's to make that music come for everyone.
you'll find that to be so true no matter what you do. You know, if you're stepping on purpose, it will absolutely be there for somebody else as well. You are gaining, but everybody around you are gaining. The energy that you get from your passions fuel the rest of your life. It recharges the batteries in here. I mean, just, yeah. And it's really a cool thing because the more you get into it, the more you get fired up about it. And it gives you energy to do things that you normally might not on your average day, right? So passions do so much for us, and prolonging our lives and the health of our lives, it's amazing. I totally agree with you. Anybody else? Okay, well, yeah. Valerie?
I think it's really interesting you touched on this about, you work hard and you love what you do, but you give yourself the freedom and the space to do what brings you joy. And I think it's so easy to just get caught up in the list of things I've got to do and not create that space to do what fulfills you and brings you energy, which is AKA your passions. And so I think it's just so important, and I think it's so great that you embrace whatever it is that at that moment in time you feel like is going to bring you that joy, and to be flexible and to be open. And it sounds to me like you're constantly open to what spirit is telling you that you need at that moment in time.
It's a wonderful place to be. You know, in at my age and at the depth of my career, I didn't have a problem bringing a guitar to work and hanging it on the wall. And then, anytime there was a lull or there was something, maybe I wanted to pick it up and rumble through a few things that I'd been hearing or whatever. You wouldn't believe the stink eye I got from my peers, right? Like going, come on, are you kidding me? And I said, you better believe it, and they just kind of move away. They get out of my way. And so, but that's the confidence of it's okay. It's absolutely okay. And I'm not going to let them deter me. So some of that comes along with wisdom. Some of it comes wisdom, gray hair. And, some of it just goes, well, that's where I am in life right now. There it is. So I don't have a problem bringing a guitar to work, but I appreciate that at least this point in my life, because it wasn't always that way. I was, climbing the ladder and stepping exactly the way where they wanted me to step and all the little goodies and having success at it, but it was never truly who I was. But now things are a little bit different, and now they give me latitude. Don't be afraid to follow your passions. It is a part of your spiritual growth. Okay.
I just love it's almost an understatement, but I love your comment of follow your interests first. Because I think sometimes we get so caught up in what's my passion, what's my purpose, what's my, that we want the big thing. And I just love the follow your interests.
Follow the seed. That's right, because that's what it is. It's the seed, right? The more you step toward it, that seed starts to blossom, right? Or blossom or start to grow, And then the more you step toward it, more it starts getting the roots. And then the tree comes up. And I love those trees. I am a tree hugger. It's okay. Okay. I think that's it. If we don't have any more questions, then I guess what do we do next? Offering? Okay.
Say goodbye.
Well, bye, y'all. Been wonderful. Okay.